Welcome to ComX Recent Reads. And today we are going to be talking about comics that we have read recently. Go figure. And I'll introduce everyone first. We have over in the, depending which way you're looking, top left, if you're watching the screen, I guess. That way, which is my right. Oh, it's all very confusing. We have Ed, who is famous for his radical comic. Woo! Then we have Shannon, who is well known for his, I'll get this right, Robotoon, no S. I always put the S on there, so I won't do it this time. And his amazing videos. There's this really good one with He-Man that he's done. Then we have Andrew Law from Andrew Law Art. And see if I can remember, Slay Helm is the comic that you're working on at the moment. Is that right?
Slay him.
Okay,
Slay
cool.
him. Close enough.
And we have Steve Saul, who is actually a reviewer from, I believe, the ComX. Do you review anywhere else, Steve?
No, typically it's just on ComX. I might do a capsule review here and there on Facebook. That's about it at the moment.
And that leaves me, who's just Siz from ComX. So yes. Then I've got to go to the show schedule because I always get mixed up. I've done the intro. Okay, now we go to the main bit. Okay, the main bit is where we talk about the comics we've read. So I'll go first so everyone else can see how it's not done. So this week I am looking at this one. It is Spider-Man Spider's Shadow. I was on another show and someone recommended this a very long time ago. So I went out and bought it, and then it ended up on the famous to read pile. And I was cleaning up the other day, and it fell out of the pile it was in, and I went, oh, I remember someone saying this looked really cool. Had a look through it, and it is very cool. It's pretty much it's going back to when Spider-Man got the symbiote suit. His first, and pretty much this is a what if. Like the whole book is just a what if. What if he succumbed to the power of the suit? What if he gave in to the hate? What if he gave in to the anger? And pretty much it causes a chain of events that gets Aunt May killed, and then he just snaps. And he starts killing all the bad guys. I'm sick of them going in, going to jail, coming back out. This has to end. He just starts killing them. And that's as far as I'll go because I know it's like an old book. It's like 3 years old. But I won't ruin the ending. But yeah, so there's just the Fantastic Four get involved. I'll say that much. And as they do in the original thing where he gets Reed to look what the suit was and find out that it's alive and all that sort of stuff still happens. But he takes a different choice with what he's going to do with the suit than he does in the normal comics. And that's where it all goes crazy. So yeah, very cool comic, especially if you like a lot of violence and goriness. It's not very graphic, of course, because it is a Marvel comic, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, I would say go read it if you want to, because it's very cool. I'm not even a big Spider-Man fan. I love this. I only vaguely knew the history of the suit, and this was still an awesome comic.
Who's the creative team on that?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was meaning to say that straight away, and I got distracted by myself. Okay, we've got Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
Yep, is the writer. Pasquale Ferry is the artist. Matt Hollingsworth is the color artist.
Cool.
VC's Joe. Is that a C? Yeah, Cara Magna is the letterer. And then you've got Phil Noto is the cover artist, and they even tell you who did the logo. Chip Zdarsky did. Oh, that's the same as the writer. He did the logo. Cool. And the editor is Will Moss. There you go. But yeah, they do a great job. Anyway, I'll just say that it's a really cool, and I'm a big fan of what ifs as well. So that's probably another reason this really suckered me in.
Yeah, I read that about 12 months or 18 months ago. I saw it recommended somewhere and tracked it down. Yeah, like you said, it's a great story. And
It is, isn't it?
I do like stories that show that just how dangerous Spider-Man really is. I mean, like villains are lucky that he's got a good heart, but also he's a bit of a goof. So, you know, they can get away with stuff. But if he puts his mind to it or he ever turns dark, then he is a force to be reckoned with. And this really shows it up well.
Yeah. It shows that he holds back.
Mm.
The villains find out that all the time they fought him, he was holding back a lot. When
I
he
never
lets
thought
loose,
of it that way.
yeah, when he lets loose, they got no chance.
Isn't there a panel in it somewhere, if I remember rightly? I think it's Doc Ock, where Spider-Man like decks him one, and he looks at him and goes, "Oh my God, you've been holding back all these years."
No, that's actually Superior Spider-Man. I know that scene. It's where Doc Ock's inside him, and he punches some dude and takes his jaw off, and he goes, "Whoa, Peter's always been holding back all these years." Yep, I know the scene you're talking about. That's just weird that I don't read a lot of Spider-Man, and I know the one you mean.
No, I love Spider-Man. I've always loved Spider-Man. I don't follow his stories all the time because, like most, they're up and down a lot. But I've always been a big fan of Spider-Man. But he's one of those characters that it's like Superman, where everybody goes, "Oh, wouldn't it be better if he was darker?" And just like, no, doesn't need to be.
No, Spider-Man's good where he is, but this is still a cool story showing what if he wasn't. I wouldn't like a whole comic series of this, but yeah, it's definitely good as a little what if story.
We're gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, cool. So this is where I get to pick the next person who gets to come up here and talk about their comic. I'll do the clock again. That's the easiest way. So I'll go Shannon.
Eeny, meeny, miny, me. All right. Well, I got a little bit inspired by our drink and draw on Friday night. We were drawing the character of Plastic Man. So I went digging around in some of my old boxes in the garage, and I dug out these.
Oh, cool.
Which is the archive editions of Plastic Man, volumes 1 and 2. I don't know if they did a volume 3. No, there we go. We can see them a bit better there. The archive editions were something DC did, I think, in the late 80s and the 90s. Back then, before everything was on the internet, these was kind of the only way you could go back and read some of the classic comics. So I've got the 2 Plastic Man volumes. I've got some Superman and Action Comics ones. I think I've got a Justice Society one as well, which is a trip because it's all this anti-German propaganda, which is fascinating. They're trying so hard to like prove or to demonstrate that Germans are not actually human beings. They're something else, and it's okay to kill them. Yeah, no, it's a trip. But yeah, back to Plastic Man. I remember when I first got these, I reread them so many times because I was just so blown away by everything. Up to that point, when I got these, I think Plaz had started showing up in Grant Morrison's JLA run, but most of the Plastic Man stories were just him being an idiot. And these are nothing like that. First of all, the art is phenomenal. Jack Cole was just an absolutely brilliant draftsman. He really was. He came from the same studio as Will Eisner. So he used to do these wonderful splash pages like that for the first page of the comic.
Wow.
And a big thing as well from the time was that there was a lot of tracing going on. A lot of comic artists at the time would take other artists' work and trace it and adapt it to their own style, just to keep those deadlines up. Bob Kane, who created Batman, he was really bad for that. Jack Cole, on the other hand, he had way too much integrity. He thought that was just wrong and refused to do it. So you see there, every single panel he put like completely original drawing, and it's just gorgeous. It really is. It's so simple but detailed. You know, it's And it blows my mind as well how they used to get so much story onto a page at the time. Like a big thing about comics now, it's all about splash panels and splash pages and stuff like that. You know, the drawings are larger, the panels are larger, so it can fit more information in. But you look through books like this and other books at the time as well, and they managed to fit so much into tiny panels, still have the detail, still have the emotion, leave room for text bubbles and speech bubbles and stuff, and it still looked incredible. Like, these guys were operating at a completely different level to what anybody is nowadays, and I really don't think a lot of them get enough appreciation. But I don't know if these are still available anywhere. They'd probably be available online somewhere. But check it. Like, if you've ever liked Plastic Man, or you've ever been curious or something like that, I fully recommend, even if you're just like a fan of comic art, I fully recommend these just to see a master at work, because Jack Cole was it was a little bit of a creative genius of some of this sort of stuff. Like, he really deserves to get a lot more praise and a lot more attention for the work he did back in the day. But yeah, that's me.
Cool. Sweet.
Is one volume of those better than the other one, or are they on a par?
Actually, the first volume is better. The second volume, I think, like, by the time the second volume came in, he fully developed Plaza's sidekick named Woozy Winks. Woozy Winks was just a little bit of a copy of Bud Abbott, who was very popular back in the day, from Abbott and Costello. I'm not a fan of Woozy Winks at all. And by the time you get into the second volume, Woozy is getting much, much more featured rather than just being a little side comedy character. But yeah, my preference is the first one, where he's still sort of finding his feet and figuring everything out. But it's all still there. It's not like he starts doing something radically different as the stories go along. And like, the character was the character.
His storytelling still keeps that strength.
Yeah, the storytelling is great, especially at a period of time when, like, this is before the supervillain of the week sort of thing. So he's come up with all these great bad guy characters. Like, yes, there's criminals, there's gangsters, but he comes up with like the World Criminal League. He has he fights evil trees at one point. A geneticist is working on like creating intelligent trees to use as defense, but they turn on him. There's another storyline where a character has his hands cut off and the hands turn evil and are running around and committing crimes. There's a giant 8-ball that's destroying cities that Plaz has to take down at one point. So it's really creative stuff without just going, oh, this guy now has a freeze ray or something like that.
It's cool.
That's cool.
So are you hanging out to get 3, or you put you off with too much of that other character? Sorry, I've forgotten his name. It's a bit of a
Woozy Winks.
Woozy Winks. Yeah, it's not words I'm used to remembering.
Woozy.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if they ever actually did a volume 3.
Oh, okay.
Like, this came out. I know this came out when I was actually working in a comic book store, so I could get that straight away. The second volume, maybe it was about a year after. I do not remember after that if a third volume ever came out, and I haven't looked it up for a long time. I don't even know if DC still does these archive editions. I have not seen them anywhere for a long time.
I don't think they do.
It's all Omnis now.
Yeah. It's all on the net.
Oh, yeah, too. Yeah.
Omnis and story arcs.
Well, thanks, Shannon.
No worries.
Have we got some comments?
Yeah, comments.
So we've got Ryan O'Connor, DC equivalent of the Marvel Masterworks releases.
Oh, I used to have those. Oh, some of them.
Got
Thanks,
Lee
Lee.
with the hand symbols. After last drink and draw, I'm sold on Plastic Man, and I need to get me some from Ben Sullivan. I got Nordis Art with Hi Andrew and Hi
Hey, man.
Sis.
Hi, everyone.
Absent-minded, hi everyone. And
Hello, hello.
Shawnee's was watching Lego Flash the other day, and it was fun watching a Lego Plastic Man. Lego was not supposed to be rubbery like that, and it was so weird and cool.
Sean, if you like the Lego superheroes, especially Lego Plastic Man, if you're a video game fan, see if you can track down Lego Batman 3. Like I think it's like Brainiac Attacks or Batman in Space or something like that. Well, I'm a big fan of the Lego games. I love them. It's the same game, like just with different
Over and
characters.
over and over.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Like
but
you
they're
can
still cool.
actually you can predict whenever you have a boss fight, you can predict exactly what happens, how many times you have to play, what it takes to beat the bad guy, and that sort of thing. I don't care. I adore them. But Plastic Man in Batman 3, Plastic Man plays a very big part in a lot of that stuff. And when you get him, he like you can make him fly, and he transforms into a little plane. He's like when he fights, he stretches and like turns into this great big rubbery thing and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm fanboying a little bit because I love those games, but they're fantastic. If you like Lego and you like DC characters, track down those games because they're fantastic.
There you go, Shawnee. Any more comments or through?
So
Okay.
the comments for now.
Okay, so because I'm going clockwise, Steve,
All right.
tell us about the comic that you read recently.
Well, the comic I read is one I picked up recently. When I go to my local comic shop, I tend to, as well as getting my usual fix, I go and hit the independent stands, the small companies.
Ooh,
I hit
nice.
the Aussie stand, and then I hit the small companies, and I just pick up something that looks interesting to me. This one was so interesting that I ended up getting them to pull the whole set for me. It's a mini series, and it's this one. Where am I? There. Little black book published by AWA, and it's basically a crime thriller. Tells the story of a guy who's basically living in a trailer with his very pregnant girlfriend/wife, and he is suddenly presented with the gift of a very nice house in Arizona because his father has just been apparently killed in a fire. And in that house, he finds this little black book. And then he uses it in an emergency, and all kinds of dramatic events ensue as a result of that. And I won't give too much away on that, but it's basically the book hints at cleaners and accountants and so forth.
Ah, yes.
And yes, the implication is as you think.
Yes. Okay.
It's a very entertaining story. A couple of nice little twists in the third and fourth issues. And let me just get you the creative team. Of course, it's not on the splash page. Let me open it and find you the creative team. Where are we? There it is. Jeff McComsey, Philippe Cunha, and Marco Lesco are the artistic team. Steve Wan's letterer, Francesco Francavilla, cover artist. And it's nice, simple storytelling, good, clean art, very much in the modern indie type style, and a very enjoyable read, basically. And I'll keep going back to those independent racks and picking up interesting stories on the basis of that.
Yeah.
And
the fact you went back and wanted the rest of them pretty much says how much you liked it.
Yeah, well, I was very lucky in this case. Normally, these things go in my to-be-read pile, which is becoming self-aware, I think. But, I read this one fairly early while they were still publishing, so I was able to get the lot.
Oh, yeah, cool. Well, just for fun, if you've got the whole pile there, you want to show all the different covers?
Oh, I don't have the whole pile here.
Well, in that case, we won't do that.
They're around the corner if you want. Yeah, just the one is here at the moment.
Have you read anything else by that artist or that writer? Any chance? That you know of?
Nothing. No, definitely by that. Definitely by the artist, but I can't put my finger on what it was. I can give you. I'll just show a couple of pages by the artist. There we go. How does that come up?
Oh, nice.
I think I need a high definition camera. So that's the guy in the trailer with his wife there, and that's the lawyer giving him the house.
Yeah, it's detailed, but not. It's
yeah.
Clean lines, I would say.
Yeah,
it's not sketchy and cartoony in as some of the modern styles lean to.
Yeah, it's not overly busy either. It just it's very stylized simplicity of storytelling. That's
and the storytelling itself, like the scripting, is similarly lean, not over verbose. As always these days, no thought balloons, just straight exposition.
So
I'm curious. Thought balloons are really going out of style.
Yeah, they are.
Don't remember the last time I saw one.
Yeah.
I was just reading up on Lambot's How to Letter book, and he was saying the book came out a year or so ago, and he said, thought balloons are just a thing of the past. Not many people actually install them in comics anymore. It's more narration,
Yeah. Well, I've noticed Spider-Man's thought balloons are now exposition captions, basically. Text box.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slight difference is the narration doesn't have the quotation marks, and the thought is got the quotation marks. There's a lot of little rules that I didn't know about lettering.
Well, I'm going to hit you up without anyone interrupting me this time. Steve, what made you pick it up?
Let's see. I would say the cover was part of it, the name, and I probably read the blurb on the inside.
Okay.
It was this crime thriller vibe that I quite liked.
Nice. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Steve. And you know who's next?
We got some more comments.
Is there any more comments? Yeah, I was going to ask that. Sorry.
So it's about the Lego games.
There we go.
And then Shawnee again with someone needs to write a comic about a 2-bit red pile that teams up with other 2-bit red piles to go on adventures to find readers.
I like it.
That's awesome.
And give up on their owners.
So do I use thought balloons in my last comics. I made the old-fashioned out of touch or retro, going with retro.
Yeah, go retro.
Yeah, retro.
If you can make it work, it doesn't matter.
I have noted, like, matter of taste. People tend to use them as like comedy or something like that. So something will go wrong, and then you'll just have the thought bubble come up, and it's usually just them swearing or something.
Right.
There's in one of the Sin City comics. In one of the Sin Cities, and he never does thought balloons, but in one of the Sin City comics, there's like a security guard that's hanging out with the main characters that has nothing to do with anything, but he's just got all these thought balloons going up. Oh, my wife hates me. My kids don't respect me. I hate my job. I hate my life. Why am I doing this?
Different. Cool.
As long as it works.
So I was going to Andrew.
There are no rules.
So I was going to Andrew before the comments. So Andrew, tell us about what you've got recently read.
I was a huge Witchblade fan back in the day, and they've just rebooted it into a new, trying to start it off again and do a new series. I had to avoid. I think they had like 12 different covers for it, with some which I was balking at, going that's a little bit insensitive. But the one thing that was good about the first issue is it's got a whole heap of covers in the back. It's all these different
cool.
artists. They've done all the covers all in the back, and I was like, that's brilliant. Like, normally you sit there and you go, J. Scott Campbell and all that, and some of these covers are like 1 in 1,000. You have to, the comic shop has to order 1,000 copies to get that one exclusive, and I was just like, so I was a little bit turned off at the start, but Witchblade was the one comic that got me in serious comic collecting. I'd always go to the comic shop, and my brother had comics, and then when I saw Michael Turner's art on the cover of the first couple of Witchblade issues, I was like, I have to have that. And the story really sucked me in. This is a slightly different take on it. It still has the same themes. The original first issue, she doesn't get the Witchblade to the end, and this sort of jumps ahead a little bit and shows you the ending before, like her getting it, and then delving a bit into the story. They've slightly twisted some of the storyline to sort of, which makes it a little bit more interesting, because Witchblade was a bit of a 90s comic. There was a little bit of glam in there, as opposed to a more serious sort of take on it, and this seems to be a bit more serious take on it. The artwork was really cool though, which there was always a high bar, because Michael Turner's my, that the nth level sort of thing, and it's very sort of Silvestri sort of vibe to the art, and it really tells the story well. All the characters are slightly different. Originally, Sarah, the main character, Witchblade, she was a New York cop, and it sort of more played out like a NYPD Blue sort of police procedural sort of thing. And this, she's ex military vet sort of thing, and delved into police work because her father was murdered, which I don't really remember too much. There was mystery around the father, but I don't remember it being such a big storyline. So they've altered it a little bit, but it's still just the dip in the toes sort of thing. It only came out, I think, last week or the week before. I did have to get one I did get one alternate cover, but I got the sketch cover, and I've since drawn on it because I'm such a huge fan. I was like, I just for my own joy,
That's wicked.
That looks
I thought
awesome.
I'd draw on it.
One of a kind.
It's just like, I don't sell too many sketch covers. I buy them and then I draw on them and for myself.
Nice.
But yeah, I always, it was quite nice paper to all those artists there too. It was a nice paper to the sketch cover, which sometimes you don't get. You get really horrible paper, and it was really, the ink went on well. But it's really cool. Really cool sort of. I'd like to see how it goes in the future issues. I'm notorious for buying the first 1 or 2 issues to dip into a series, and if it doesn't hold me, I'm not going to spend money on it. So I'm interested to see how the second one goes. See if they delve into the lore that they've already created, because it went for quite some time, the original series. I know they tried to reboot it before, but I think it ground to a halt. They lost the artist or something. The artist jumped ship halfway through the second or third issue, and that's to do a bigger job, and then became unknown in the industry. I think from memory. Don't quote me on
That really famous unknown guy.
Yeah. But no, it's really cool to actually delve back into that Top Cow world, because they really with the Darkness and the Angelus and I think it was Aphrodite 9, and I think they crossed it over with the Cyber Force sort of thing. They really created a huge universe there, and there's not much of it coming out anymore. So I'd like to see more of it. Yeah, always enjoyed reading them, and the art, and this is killer. Yeah.
Who is
So
the
yeah,
artist?
it is Gaffaro. Giuseppe Gaffaro. I have not heard of him before, but it's written by Marguerite Bennett, who's known for some DC books. I'm thinking off the top of my head, I can't think what she's written, but she's written some DC books that sold well, I think, recently. Colors are by Arif Prianto. Letters by Troy Petrie, and his letters are always good. He's been doing Top Cow stuff for years. But yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 alternate covers and 3 exclusive covers. 13 covers.
I didn't think that was a thing still.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I did a while back when they brought out 3 more issues of Battle Chasers from Joe Majura, that comic from the 90s that ground to a halt. They had some wicked alternate covers, and that's the only thing I've gone, let's just buy them all because they were beautiful covers. But I generally go, no, thank you. You have to be special to get my money. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Have you seen the artist or anything else? Because I don't know the name.
No.
Okay.
But Top Cow's pretty known for doing their Top Cow talent hunt, where you have about 6. They put out a script, and you have 6 months to draw it and send it off into a competition. And I think they brought out a comic over the last month that was written and drawn by the winner. They have a writer's side to it and an artist side to it, and the comic is written by the writer and the artist. So they actively every year or maybe every 2 years have a talent hunt to find good artists and good writers. So they're you don't really see that much from those sort of things from other companies. I know DC do it every now and then, but not like every couple of years like Top Cow does. And they were well known back in the day for having a bullpen and teaching new artists and all that. A lot of the 90s artists that were doing Marvel and DC these days all come out of that lot. But yeah, cool book.
Thanks, Andrew.
Nice. I think I still have my original copy of Witchblade #1 around here somewhere.
I sold mine.
Yeah, I got Darkness #1 as well. I think I got that signed. Can't remember.
I've got #4 and #7 still. I think I sold the #1 when I was broke. I sold a lot of comics when I was broke.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, get it signed. That would be cool. Yeah.
That's what this show's doing. This is the bad side of the show. It's reminding me of all the things that I used to have. Because I sold my entire non-indie collection. So all 4,000 comics. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you always regret it.
Yeah. I try not to think about it, and then I decided to do this show. Thanks, Ed. Speaking of Ed, tell us about your book, Ed.
I have got the Completely Mad Don Martin, written and drawn by Don Martin. So he's a Mad magazine artist who started doing cartoons for Mad in 1956. It's said on the internet. And so I picked this up at an op shop recently, and I'm going to show you some of the gags in here. So this one's on the road. The guy's doing the paint for the road line, and the steamroller guy rolls over him, and then he runs back and gets the tar, and then colors in where the guy was. That was like a clever one. Good use of cartooning. And this one really made me laugh with in the doctor's office, and he's testing the guy's reflexes, and then the Joker glove on the spring comes out and hits him in the face, and he says to the guy's wife, "What's wrong with this guy?" And then one comes out of her mouth and hits him in the face. And then he goes to talk to the nurse, and she gets hit in she's got one too. And then he's like, "I'm out of here." And then the full page gets whacked by another one. That Don Martin was always one of my favorite guys. Don Martin and Sergio Aragonés were like the big guys, like one of the reasons why you would get Mad back in the day.
Oh.
And then in 87, it's like right around the peak time that I was collecting them, he went and worked for Mad magazine, not for Cracked magazine, which was a huge like thing in my youth and my it's like the death of Optimus Prime and Don Martin leaving Mad magazine was like two huge things in my youth. And so I've got like this one from 1981. It's got 3 Don Martin stories in it, and I think they're better than all the ones in this one, which came out in 83. And I got this one from 88, and there's no more Don Martin. And there's one that's always stuck with me. The cartoon is there's a guy eating soup, and there's all these sound effects like shlomp, shlomp, shlomp. And it's like 3 panels of him just eating this soup, and there's all these sound effects of all the noises. And then the waiter comes up to him and says, "Hey, how's your soup?" And he pushes it away and goes, "It's too noisy." And so like Mad magazine, like built into my comic book DNA. And it's like before I started really getting into superhero comics, I was reading Mad, and it was good to just have a look at some old Don Martin ones.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm.
It's always good discovering more of what you loved, especially in artists and the humor as well, Yeah. Now, how long was he doing it for? Like, you said 1950 something to 1980?
56 to 87 for Mad magazine. So.
Wow, that's a run and a half.
Mm.
Gosh.
And that just shows.
I was overpaid a dispute with the editor because they were reprinting his stuff, which is probably like stuff like this, which he probably wasn't getting a cut of.
Oh no!
So he told him to stick it and went to the competitors.
Did he ever go back to Mad?
Not that I can remember or know of, but I do remember that he was in Mad and then he wasn't, because we were kids. It was the 80s. There wasn't. We didn't have access to like industry insider stuff.
Yeah, I think I stopped reading Mad before that, so I didn't know he'd gone.
And my friend was flicking through an issue of Cracked at the newsagents, and then there was a Don Martin cartoon in Cracked, and it was. I took it personally. It was a huge betrayal.
That's awesome.
But you instantly recognize the art because you love it so much, and you go, instantly you go, what's he doing? Yeah, what?
He has such a recognizable style with the big noses and the big long, like cardboardy feet.
Yeah.
See when the guy's walking. And in the 80s, you could see all the faces. His sound effects were like he had the really crazy sound effects. It's like in the 80s, around that time, like the thing I was drawing most was like Don Martin characters and Roger Rabbit back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Love that Roger Rabbit.
Mine was all superheroes. I was hooked after Super Friends. That was it. My life was about superheroes. But I do remember reading a lot of Mad and laughing. So I did read it. I was obsessed with superheroes still.
Mine was Bugs Bunny, drawing all the Wile Coyote and Tassie Devil and all that. They were cool. I had a How to Draw Bugs Bunny book that's somewhere on that shelf in like a quarter of it's left. It's all the paper's imprinted because of the tracing. When I used to steal Mum's grease paper from the kitchen, and she'd tell me off for using it all.
That's awesome. Are there comments, Ed?
Yes.
I'm not keeping track, so.
And this is referring to the lettering book. I was looking forward to getting Nate's lettering book. Pre-ordered it, put it in my backpack as soon as I got it to read it on the train. Immediately got caught in the rain and destroyed the book.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's heartbreaking.
So what I did was I didn't have the money to order it, and I was stressed because I was like they kept posting that there's there's 10 copies left or something like that, and I found it on Amazon. So I've got a PDF version that was I think a bit cheaper. So yeah, I've got on like every single iPad and computer just to make sure I don't lose it. Yeah, but that'd be devastating because I really want the book. I'd buy the book if I could find it in a shop. Yeah.
So back when fat meant something else. Rusty loved ComX. And Alison, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well.
Hi, Alison.
Hello.
The thing about Mad Comics back in the day is that was the only way you had access to certain movies. Like all these big popular movies would come out, but because they were rated, whatever they were rated, your parents wouldn't let you watch them. But you could get a version of them by reading the Mad magazine version.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Although you could talk about it.
For years until I saw the movie Aliens for the first time, I was convinced that there was a human-sized chicken in that movie.
Now I want to read the Mad.
Bill Paxton's character, was it Hudson? I think he was drawn as a giant chicken because he's just a big chicken in the movie. But I was looking forward to seeing that movie to see the giant chicken soldier.
Yeah,
we had a few of them at
the artist.
We had a few of them at the school library, but all the back pages had been ripped. Those folded. Everybody had ripped off the folders and disappeared with them.
Now I remember why I got them. The fold pages.
Yeah, when you get the second-hand ones, they come pre-folded.
Oh, nice. That'd be easier.
I'd hate to see collectors try and find them in mint condition.
Yeah.
I remember you'd pick it up in the news agency and have a flip through and you get to the fold in and you're trying desperately to fold it over without creasing the paper. Just to see.
I remember.
It wasn't just me.
No, I was a nightmare.
No, you could almost. Yeah.
Good old man.
I've been buying the super specials from the 70s and 80s just so I can get the nostalgic Mad reprints in the front of some of them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've got, I think, 3 or 4 of them now. There's about 7 or 8. Quest goes on.
I love the Spy versus Spy, I think.
Oh, I used to love those too, yeah. I should open some of these ones I bought. They probably got Don Martin and Spy versus Spy in them.
There was a great Spy versus Spy game for the Commodore 64 back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
I vaguely remember my friend having that.
Yeah.
Did the
I remember it taking too long to load up, so we went and did something else.
Yeah. The guy
Press
started
Yeah,
playing
you'd hit
while
load and you'd have to go and do something else for half an hour waiting for the game to load.
Yeah.
Wow. Did the Fox Mad show ever make it to Australia? Because I used to watch that when I was in the States. And they had animated Spy versus Spy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mad TV.
Yeah, little
TV.
bit,
Yeah. Late at night.
Things-
It was-
Yeah.
it
Great
was
over there as well.
Yeah. I didn't used to sleep for the longest time in my late teens and my 20s and just stayed up until 3 or 4 in the morning. And a lot of those shows like Mad TV, in living color, and then shows like the Friday the 13th series, Freddy's Nightmares series, Monsters, a bunch of other ones like that. They were all on after 11 or after 12. That was the only time they were allowed to screen them here in Australia, I guess.
And that werewolf show was on. I remember that in the 90s.
Which one?
The werewolf show. I think it was just called Werewolf. And it had one of the guys had an eye patch. And then when he turned into a werewolf, he had like a wide eye.
Interesting.
I vaguely remember those shows, the late night ones, but I don't have the best memory, so it's only vaguely.
The Commodore 64, my high school girlfriend and I would write love letters with the C64 key code.
Yeah, if you held it's kind of like Control and Shift, but it was one of the keys that you had held down, and it would do emojis. It would do like emoticons. And if you knew what the letters were, it was kind of like sending a secret code. Good God, I have not thought about that, and I don't know how long. Thanks for bringing that one back, Rusty.
Good on you, Rusty. Well, if someone else... Oh, sorry.
No, my mate used to do coding and do all that stuff. And we had the typing class. And because he would do it with 2 fingers, he was lessons ahead of everybody else. But when the teacher came over, he was like the touch typing. He was 10 times slower than everybody else. You're cheating. Yep. But he knew all the coding and all that. Like, it's just amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, spending endless hours learning BASIC because you thought that would help when you grew up.
10 go to 20, 20 go
Yes.
to.
I remember learning BASIC. Oh, that was good times.
Wow.
If you want to come on to the show and talk about comics or learning BASIC, you can you can go to comx.show/interest. There's the link. Good on you. And you can let us know that you want to be on the show, that you want to talk about comics you've read recently. You want to draw on Drink and Draw. You want to, let's remember the other show. You can, if you want to draw a panel on Let's Make a Comic Book, if you want to be on Chinwag, let us know. If you want us to talk about your latest book that you've created on ComX, let us know. But probably, if you're not a creator, this is probably the best show for you, where you get to talk about comics that you've recently read and loved. And we would love to have you on to talk about that. You don't need to be a creator. You just need to love comics and be able to get in this time zone. That's about it. Don't have to live in the time zone. You just have to be willing to do the show in this time zone. So yeah. Now we're at the part of the show where we all get to plug ourselves. So we get a minute. Do you want to bring it up or you want me to, Ed? There we go. Oh, you can't play it though. What am I thinking? Okay, so we all get a minute each to promote ourselves or a friend or just whatever we want to promote. I think, Stellarlands last week. This week I'm going to talk about the shows. So Monday we've got this show, ComX Recent Reads. Tuesday we have Tuesday Chinwag, hence the name. Wednesday we have the Oz Comics show with Shaden. Chinwags with Lee Chalker, I should say. Thursday we have Let's Make a Comic Book, which is me and Ed again. And that's where we make a comic book one panel at a time, one artist at a time. And then Friday, we have Drink and Draw, which is a lot of fun. We've got quite a varying crew on that now. We have the Spedsy and Nicholas show. We've got the Shannon Browning show. And we've also got the Nicole Kane show. And I've got 16 seconds, so I'll go really quick. Stellarlands is at Kickstarter. I forgot what it was called. Outlaw and Battle for Bustle, the new editions, are both at the ComX shop. So go check them out, and this will go crazy if I don't stop before it hits 0. I did it.
See, this self-promotion thing is the best cardio I get every 2 weeks. So.
Raises the blood pressure.
So, any volunteers to go next? Or am I going to have to pick on someone? No volunteers. No one ever volunteers. I don't know why I bother asking.
I'll go.
I'm going to go Steve. He looks really interested in what we're doing.
Okay. All right. Well, my only claim to fame within the comics realm is that I've been doing reviews of mainly Aussie stuff for the last year or two. And that's been on one of Shane's many websites. I hear rumors that it's going to be back up and visible very soon.
Yes.
And so that means I actually have to get back and start writing again very soon, which is not something I'm good at starting. I can usually
very soon. The berries just make it sound too soon.
What now? And outside comics, my main creative outlet would be community theatre, where I do a bit of acting, a bit of directing, and a tiny bit of writing. And if you're in Melbourne, look me up.
Nice.
I'm done. Oh, I've got 7 seconds left. Something can happen.
Thanks, Steve. Okay. To make it easy on myself, I'm just going to go around. So Andrew gets to go after Steve again. Tell us what you're doing, Andrew.
Cool. So I've got a new book coming out on Kickstarter called Slayham Whispers of Revenge. It's a fantasy adventure. Dragons and wizards and thieves and all that good stuff that I like to read. High fantasy sort of stuff. I am going to, for the first time in a few years, offer commissions with the Kickstarter. So if you've wanted one from me for a while, I'm going to be offering A5 commissions, and I'll probably be doing this was the practice one. I'm going to be doing sketch covers for my comic as well. So I'm going to offer them. So if I have been sort of holding off doing commissions for a while because I'm trying to get the book finished, but it should be good. It should be fun.
I'm just going to cheat here, Andrew. I'm just going to cheat here because it's my show, damn it. When is your Kickstarter again? Sorry?
21st of August.
21st of August.
Yeah, 21st of August. Yeah.
Okay, so that's when I'm going to go broke. Okay, cool. Just making sure I knew when it was. I won't be eating for a few days or weeks. Awesome.
Well, you'll be paying for my food, so that's all right.
Yeah, well, there's balance in the universe. That sounds good. Your art is wicked. That's what I'm trying to say here. So yeah. So sketch cover and commission sounds awesome. So we're going to go round to Ed.
Okay. I'm going to show my thing. This is a comic I'm working on. Oh, gotta get on the right screen. It's Final Dragon. This is the first issue. And this is one of the extra pages that's going in. And this is what I've been working on the last week, and just finished it off today, just before the show. So we've got Bobby Long is the final dragon, and this is the scene where he comes back to his hometown after being in jail for 10 years, and it's all run down, and all the people are gone, and there's only gangsters and criminals in his town. So this is what leads him on the path to unleash karate vengeance on all these guys.
I love it.
Oh,
Awesome.
please make that the subtitle. Karate Vengeance.
2 seconds. Woo! Well done.
Looking good, Ed. It's looking really, really good.
Thank you.
Looks amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
I still can't get over you have the patience to do those bricks. I would have given
One
up
at a
on
time.
about probably 5 or 6 and just went, it's what do they call it? Oh god, my brain's gone dead.
Concrete.
Whatever. A flat road wall. There we go. Render. That's what I was looking for. It's a rendered wall. There you go.
Just do
Anyway.
5.
Shannon, tell us about yourself or someone you know or whatever.
Oh, you know what? Watch his show, read his comics, join his Kickstarter, and check out his reviews.
Woo! Killing it.
Oh! 11 seconds, not bad.
Olympic record.
Get rid of that. Cool. Now I gotta remember where. Oh, this is
Do
where
some
Ed-
comments. Should we do some
Comic
comments
shop.
first?
Let's have a look. Oh, comments. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So we've got Bitsy currently watching on the train while working on my fan art.
Ooh.
Be sick. Oh, and that's where you send your fan art for
Yes.
drink and draws and for Bitsy.
Mm-hmm. That's for Drink and Draw and for the comic book fan art.
Got good stuff. And need more fantasy comics. Need more black and white comics.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Honestly think black and white is a lost art. No offense to colorists.
Black and white is tricky sort of thing. You see a lot of times like comic artists that use color, like the color is the third part of the art sort of thing. So a lot of the definition and the separation and that sort of thing gets done with the color. But you see in very, very talented black and white comic artists, like they can do all of that with the black and white, just with the line art. And I think that's incredible, that sort of artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My comics are all black and white. They shouldn't be.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about that, and they draw differently if they know it's going to be colored or not. And they drew something for color, and then it was released in black and white, and they're like, "No, that was not black and white."
Okay, should we run the ad?
Press the button, my friend.
Pressing now.
Are you feeling a little down? Tired of reading the same old books again and again? Looking for something different? Why not head over to the ComX shop now and pick yourself up some freshly inked inspiration?
And we lost.
Oh.
Oh, there he is.
No, there you go.
We lost you for a second there, buddy.
I was trying to activate the video and it took me up.
Cool. So this is the part where we all do a quick recommendation.
Oh yeah.
So this is where we just quickly recommend something anywhere in our lifetime of reading. You don't have to show it if you haven't got a copy of it, because the last couple of episodes I talked about books that were long gone. This is just pure coincidence that I happen to have this one. If I've already recommended it, Ed, let me know, because I have totally lost track of what I've recommended so far. I'm going to recommend The Authority.
Oh, cool.
Is that the part where you say I've already done this? Because it feels like I've done it before.
We could do it again because you've got the book there.
Sweet. I've got the book this time. It was in the same
Just
poll
sell
as
it
this
with
one.
authority.
But yeah, this came in a time when, I mean, now it's not so uncommon for superheroes to kill or superheroes teams to be quite violent. That's it's not the norm, but it's definitely not unheard of anymore. When this came out, it was pretty unheard of. But at least to me anyway. I was used to DC Universe, Marvel Universe, heroes didn't kill. So when I read this and they went, no, the solution is this bad guy, no, we're not throwing him in jail, we're getting rid of him. One of my favorite scenes in it is where they're in an alternate world and they're killing all the bad guys, and the bad guys are going, but you're heroes. So yeah, I recommend it because it's written very well and it's drawn very well. Warren Ellis is the writer, and Brian Hitch is the artist for the first part of this up until when Jenny dies. That's not a surprise. You know that's going to happen all through it. That's not a spoiler. Because she is a representation of the century. So when 2000 came, she dies. And a new Jenny is born of the new century. Yeah, it's just great. It's great art, and I think it still holds up. I don't think it has to be in that era when this was unusual. I think it still as a book is great. So yeah, not very quick, but there you go.
Awesome.
And we'll just randomly go around again. Ed, no one ever puts their hand up.
I gotta recommend Roller Cop 2000 by Nick May.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 of them, and it's classic Nick May. Very funny, awesome art. A lot of it's in the there's a 9-panel grid, but a lot of it's in the 12-panel grids. So maybe the second one. Oh no, this one. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And it's that's okay. But it's like stream of consciousness, the crazy adventures. It's funny, but the characters are taking everything deadly seriously, which I think is where the humor comes from. And it's the special cop, like they're the elite cop force, but they're on roller skates for some reason. Oh, you can see.
Roller skates are cool.
Yeah,
roller skates are cool.
I love it.
So that's hit Nick May up and get some Roller Cop because it's awesome.
I just love circles. So Shannon.
Yeah. Just for a quick recommendation, Marvel Comics has brought back its Ultimate line. They started recently. There's a whole great big storyline. It sort of continues on from the original, but starts again. Read it; it makes sense. The one I'm going to recommend is Ultimate Spider-Man. Peter Parker is grown up, married to MJ, has 2 kids, was working for the Daily Bugle. Uncle Ben is still alive. And then he receives a package with a radioactive spider and a costume, and says the world needs to change. It needs heroes. In the world we had before, you were one, be one again. And it kind of goes from there. And it's an intriguing story. It's like taking it from a completely different place as well, so you don't know what to predict. It is in the Ultimate sort of line in the fact that the stories are slow. You know, there's a lot of build up, there's a lot of character development. They're concentrating on everyone. So if you just want things to blow up, probably not the book for you, but I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome.
Does he actively choose to have the spider bite him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's
You have to make the he's got a choice to do it, as opposed to it just happens,
yeah, he chooses it this time, sort of thing. And yeah, the suit is like once again, it's like nano suit or something, nano fiber, so it grows on him and that sort of shit. So there is this wonderful scene where he and his daughter are trying to figure out what the costume should look like, because it starts off all black. And she keeps on picking colors and changing and that sort of thing until it gets to what we know as Spider-Man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a good read.
Sounds like
I
it.
like all the I like alternate takes, like Scissors book. Yeah, alternate takes on the heroes.
Yeah.
Good. I've got the 6th printing of #1 on order, so hopefully I'll get to read it soon.
Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome. Steve, I think I forgot to warn you about this part of the show, but hopefully
I think you mentioned it. Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I want to recommend anything EC Comics, but specifically this one.
Ooh.
This is a relatively recent reprint volume, because EC Comics are great, in my humble opinion. This particular book is collecting all the adaptations they did of Ray Bradbury stories. And to me, they are the cream of the crop of EC Comics. And the added bonus is that it covers all of their superstar artists. Your Wally Wood, Jack Davis, Johnny Craig, Jack Cayman's even in there, and Ghastly's in there, Graham Ingalls, and a few of the other, well, I would say equal lights, but lesser contributing lights from the heights of EC Comics, such as Reed Crandall and Al Williamson's in there. Might even be a bit of Frazetta, I think. He did 1 or 2 stories for them. And it's just, it's a beautifully put together volume, good essays, fantastic array of stories of all kinds. You've got Bradbury's horror stories and Bradbury science fiction stories mainly, and a few quirky humor ones that kind of cross over. And good stories, great art. And my one quibble is the pages are glossy, which detracts a little bit from the art for me, but it's still a very beautiful thing inside and out.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Was Bradbury the one that they did one of his stories without asking him, and he sent a letter in saying, "Love the adaptation of my story that you did. I'm sure the check's in the mail."
That's the one, and that story is recounted. Yeah, the story's recounted in there, and Bradbury actually has a foreword in there as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Bradbury had a bit of a problem with people adapting his stories and not telling him.
Yeah, but he was very understanding, and they collaborated very nicely after that, because they quickly paid him the money.
Mike, just on a tangent there, like my favorite story about something like that is when Mel Brooks did Blazing Saddles. There's the joke that the main character's name is Hedley Lamar instead of Hedy Lamar. When the movie came out, they had a courier show up at the door, and he's talking to Mel's business partner. Mel yells out, "What's going on?" And his partner said, "Hedy Lamar is suing us." And from his office, he just yelled out, "Pay her."
So
I love the movie. That's a good.
Oh, damn it! I'll get this right one day. Over to Andrew.
So this one's not a comic, but like I think about 3 or 4 hours ago, it showed up at my door. It's a Kickstarter for Australian artist Martin Abel. It's an art book that he's published. So he's in the process of sending out all his stuff, but he's got some wonderful fantasy art that he does. It's a really cool comic style. It does have a couple of preview pages in here of a comic that he started working on that are really horribly displayed by myself. But it's one of those things that he wants to get around to, but hasn't yet. But he's wonderful fantasy art. I'm sure he's going to make it available after he sent off all these Kickstarter stuff. But it'll be available later on this year. But yeah, it's
Wow, it's so good. He just can't say anything else.
like, I'm so eager.
Oh, there it is.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, you froze for me. I don't know if it did for everyone else, but it froze for me.
Yeah, he did. He froze for a moment.
But no, he's done some comic pages in the that I'm blanking on it, the Australian comics thing they put together for the bushfires. He did a really cool story in that. And he's a fantastic artist, and it's fantasy, so it's right up my alley. Delve into it tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool book, very cool book.
Yeah, I want it now, and that's why I'm beginning to hate this show. I will soon be very, 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 very broke. If you also want to come onto the show and show some comics off that will make me want to buy them and be more broke than ever, that is the link you want to go to, comx.show/interest. And that'll take you to a form where you fill it out, you tell a bit about yourself, and I will get in contact with you and we'll figure out what shows to put you on, unless, of course, you pick some shows and we'll try to get you on those shows. So we'd love to have you. You just have to be a fan of comics to be on this show. That's it. That's the rule. I guess we've done it. So thank you very much to our guests. Thank you very much to Ed. Do I get to say thank you very much to myself, or would that be weird? No. Okay.
Thanks.
You put in the hard work.
And thank you to everyone who's watching and the comments. Sorry.
Thanks, Sis.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. It's great, those who get to watch us live and get to interact. That's a lot of fun. Thank you for that. Thank you to those who are watching this later, at a later date. And thank you to those who like the video. Thank you, Shawnee, who like the video. So share the video with your friends. The more people see this, the better. And then subscribe to the channel, because that helps us grow the channel and helps us put out more shows and do more of this and get more people. I mean, we have to get to a certain number for some people to come on the show. So come on, let's get us up to those numbers and get those special people. No names mentioned. I'm one of them. I'm not coming back until we hit 1,000. No, but so yes, thank you, everyone. I think we've done it, haven't we, Ed? This is the show. In that case, I will let Ed take us away. Good night, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I pressed the button.
Like, share, and subscribe.